Hi, my name is Gary Gulman, and I feel ecstatic about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
That's very sweet.
And I feel like I wouldn't be that irritating.
Well, okay. Now, wait a minute. Now I'm feeling, now I have reservations.
Well,
that you bring it up.
Because you intersect with a lot of the things that I've taken great joy in my life, like when you wrote on Saturday Night Live, and then the early Simpsons, and then your show. We started, well, we were colleagues, but I started doing comedy October 11th, and your show started September 13th,
in 1993.
1993.
Wow. Okay.
So I had a job as a CPA working for Coopers and Lybrand at the time, but then they killed off Lybrand and merged with Price Waterhouse. Anyhow,
but this is the best road into comedy. Traditionally.
Yes. And so I remember watching your first episode when I was doing accounting during the day and just not being able to get out of bed for work the next day. So we've intersected. So, but I would,
thank you.
I would like every once in a while, I'd say, did you mind if I ask you about that episode where you pretended? I was convinced that they were real headlines and real articles from newspapers.
Right.
And then they became more and more absurd. And it was a kind of takeoff on the Tonight Show at the time.
It wasn't just a takeoff.
Oh my gosh.
It was ridiculing.
Yes.
The existing Tonight Show in a way that I really enjoyed.
Yes.
Which was
and I thought, oh my gosh.
That host would show, oh, these are real. These are, I won't do the accent, but these would show real, like this is a real ad, and look at this funny thing in the ad, and we would say, we're going to do the same thing, and we would show an ad that looked fairly innocent for like a waterbed, and then it would pan down in the corner, and there'd be a little picture of Charles Manson, and it would say, Charles Manson says, this is this waterbed is murdering good. Something that's insane.
It's not even an expression.
Yeah, and then I would always act kind of incredulous.
Yes.
Like, how does that help sell the waterbed?
Right.
And Andy, of course, would play along, and he'd be like, I mean, I don't quite see why. And I remember, I thought we just loved writing those.
They
and
were so good. The funeral home one, we will make the death of a loved one the most horrific experience. And you were outraged.
Oh, I was always outraged.
This is a difficult time for these people.
Yeah.
And they're promising to make it worse.
Yeah. I loved those.
And then
we called them actual items. And I'd always say, now this looks normal right here. This looks fairly normal, but whatever. And it's for like a restaurant where kids can eat. And then, always it's, but why is look over here? And it's a little Hitler.
Yeah. Or there was a woman who was hit by a car and she was treated by Dr. Hope she's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it makes me happy that you were watching. There are all these comedians. There are all these comedians that I adore, and you are among them. And makes me happy to know that they were watching because, just
it was
pure...
that thing that you had mentioned before about how when you first watched the Gary Shandling show, oh, this is just for me.
Yes,
and I felt that way, like with Get a Life with Chris Elliott, and then with when you started doing the late night.
It was funny. It was sending out a little signal and thinking somewhere out there someone's getting this.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to do that. We also wanted to stay on the air, which proved very difficult. Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend is brought to you by the Kia EV9 and Sirius XM. Sona, you remember we talked about the Kia EV9, and we finally got to see it.
Ooh.
I went down and looked at it. Beautiful. Well, first of all, the color was gorgeous. It's this nice blue. It's got this very spacious third row.
Yeah.
I love a third row. I'm a large fellow. As you know, I'm 6'4", all muscle.
Okay. Well,
and,
that's debatable.
I was very comfortable. I really enjoyed it. And the plan. The plan is to have my assistant who took over for you because you weren't working out. David, well, you know what I mean. You're goofing around a lot.
Okay.
David came in, and David, you're going to run some errands for me in the Kia EV9.
I'm excited.
It's a good-looking car,
It is.
and you and I sat in it for a second. It felt very comfortable.
Oh, wait, so much space.
Here's a little plus I want to add. SiriusXM offers a 3-month trial subscription to all equipped Kia vehicles. SiriusXM provides access to over 165 plus channels in the vehicle to listen to ad-free music plus sports, news, comedy, and more, including fan favorite Conan O'Brien Radio on channel 104. I'm going to send you out.
All right.
You're going to go out in the EV9 and you're going to do some errands for me.
Great.
Just enjoy this car. You're a young guy. This is a fine, fine car. Okay. I'm not saying that you don't deserve to drive a car this nice, but I am saying that. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, there it is.
The all-new, all-electric 3-row Kia EV9. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Kia.com/EV9. Kia. Movement that inspires. There's a lot to talk about here. I'm going to start by paying you a compliment, which is a gentleman who worked for me for, God, almost, 30 years is Brian Kiley. And Brian Kiley I adore because he's the best joke writer I've ever known. One-liner joke writer. And also just a great guy, and
the kindest, most generous,
writes a deadly joke. Like he can just make an ice bullet of a joke, and it's beautifully. And I'll tell you, Brian Kiley has always raved about you.
Oh wow!
Even before I really got to know you, he was
that's
like,
so nice.
Gary Gulman is such a good. And then I started watching we had you on the show, and you did what became this viral sensation. You did this bit about how the states got their abbreviations. And what I remember is the architecture and the thought that went into it. You're so goddamn smart, and the intricacy of it, and just immediately thought, who is this guy? This guy's fantastic.
Wow.
And then, of
so
course,
nice.
I keep checking your clip from your appearance on your show where you did this. And millions and millions and millions of people keep seeing that,
that's really
and
cool.
keep going back to it. And it's it makes me very happy that so many people now have joined the cult, because it is a cult of Gary Gulman. And that
there are no questions allowed.
No questions allowed.
They have to follow my orders.
Yes. And you have certain rights with the other women in the cult.
Whoa.
Well, he does.
Whoa.
Because he wears the red robe and everyone else wears the blue robe. Well, oh, come on. This is Cult 101.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
I'm interested.
Oh, you're in, buddy.
Uh-oh.
I was so happy that you were going to come here today. And I'm just going to mention this because this just happened. We always put out, I don't know if you saw it on the way in, we put up a nice welcome basket.
Oh, yeah. And nobody does that anywhere else. It's
right.
so nice.
And it's filled with like treats and things like that. And I walk and it says, welcome. And there's a little chalkboard right there, a mini chalkboard. And whoever's coming, like, we had, this is a true story, we put out some muffins, or someone put out some muffins for Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he walked in and pointed at them with disdain and went, muffins, and walked past them. And then on the way out, he took a bite of one and like spit it out and went, not even good. But I was looking at your gift basket, and it was filled with all this great stuff, and I picked up, I don't know why, I just picked up there's a nice thing of blue diamond almonds, whole natural. And it's look at this is a very nice can, and it's been set out for you amidst all these other like beautiful things. And I just happened to, I don't know why, but I was like talking to somebody and I was playing with the top, and I pulled the top off. This has been pre-opened.
Oh my gosh.
Someone opened this, took some almonds, then put the foil back and put the top back on. And I thought, what?
And it's someone in this room.
Exactly. Well, I don't know if it's someone in this room. It's someone in this building, or else it was from the last time. But someone did this, and I thought, what message is this sending to Gary, who was going to take the basket home?
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm having these now.
Take the basket home. Blue Diamond has always reminded me of wacky packages, like how easy it would have been to make a wacky pack of Blood Diamond almonds.
Nice.
And it would be gory, like a wacky package.
I used to love wacky packages.
Yeah. They were awesome.
Do you remember do you know at all?
What?
They were drawn parodies like you'd see in a Mad magazine or a Cracked, but they were for a popular product. And then they would do a drawing of it and they would make this sort of
but the artists were incredible.
Yeah.
Like Art Spiegelman used to work for them.
Yeah.
They were
guy who did
stickers with
Mouse.
bubble
Yeah,
gum.
they were
like
stickers
trading
with
they were
cards.
bubble gum.
stickers, and then you'd stick them everywhere, and that was a
Yeah.
big part of my childhood.
It's
was
stuck 'em
seeing
on
these
our,
wacky packs.
Our bedroom doors would be their final resting
More
place.
beautiful Victorian homes have been
Yes.
destroyed
Oh, no.
by these shitty stickers.
Yeah, by wacky
You and
packages and STP stickers.
You and I,
That's true.